life under a different king. There are moments when we hear the words of Jesus and feel two things at the same time. We are drawn to him and we are unsettled by him. His teaching sounds beautiful, but it also sounds impossibly high. We want to live the way he describes, yet something in us hesitates because there is a quiet gap between admiration and ability. We know what he says. The harder question is whether a life like that is actually possible for people like us. Jesus does not ease into his words. He does not lower the bar to make us comfortable. He looks at ordinary people, people living with fear, loss, injustice, and wounded hearts. And he says, "But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Matthew chapter 5, verse 44. When we hear that, we instinctively soften it. We think of difficult coworkers, awkward family members, people we would rather avoid. But that is not the world Jesus was speaking into. His listeners knew what real enemies were. They lived under occupation. They knew violence, betrayal, humiliation, and threat. When Jesus said enemy, he was not speaking metaphorically. He was naming people who could harm them, people who would harm them, people who could take what they loved. And that is where the questions begin to surface, the ones we rarely say out loud. Am I too broken to live this way? What if my faith is weak? What if I keep trying and keep failing? What if I am simply not cut out for this kind of life? You do not know what they did to me, to my family. How do I move forward when I cannot forget what happened? These are not questions of rebellion. They are questions of fear. They rise up because somewhere deep inside, we are afraid that Jesus may be asking something of us that we simply do not have the capacity to give. That fear sharpens when we hear Jesus say, "You therefore must be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect." Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Those words can land like a verdict, perfect, whole, complete. And suddenly we wonder if the kingdom of heaven is only for the spiritually strong, the emotionally healed, the people who already have their lives together. We hear Jesus speak, and instead of feeling invited, we quietly wonder if we are disqualified before we ever begin. But Jesus does not begin his kingdom teaching by searching for the strongest people in the crowd. He does not look for those who already have clarity, courage, or emotional wholeness. He opens his mouth and says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. That sentence changes everything. The kingdom of heaven does not belong to those who feel capable. It belongs to those who know they are not. It belongs to people who are aware of their lack, their weakness, their inability to manufacture the kind of life Jesus is describing. Jesus does not call the poor in spirit a problem to fix. He calls them blessed. And then he does something even more startling. He says the kingdom already belongs to them. This means something we often miss. Jesus did not speak hard words because he assumed strong hearts. He spoke them because he was announcing a kingdom designed to form hearts over time. He was not naive about human brokenness. He was addressing it directly. The kingdom does not begin with ability. It begins with need. This is where we begin to see the difference between what Jesus asks for and what we often assume he requires. Jesus does not ask us to arrive with a fully formed life. He does not ask us to bring emotional strength, spiritual maturity, or proven consistency. Over and over again, his invitation is simpler and far more demanding at the same time. Follow me. Come to me. Trust me. Give me your allegiance. Faith, as Jesus speaks of it, is not a resume of spiritual accomplishments. It is loyalty. It is the decision to place our lives under his reign, even when we do not yet resemble the kind of people his kingdom produces. We do not do in order to belong. We belong, and over time, we are changed. This is why the moments that stop us in our tracks are not moments of impressive willpower. They are moments of formation. We have seen people give when they had nothing left to give, not because they were fearless, but because they trusted a king who promised provision. We have seen people forgive wounds that still ached, not because they forgot what happened, but because they were being reshaped by mercy. We have seen people worship through pain and silence, not because they felt strong, but because they had learned where their life truly rested. These are not extraordinary personalities. They are ordinary people living under the reign of an extraordinary king. And when the weight of that life feels heavy, When the questions return, when the ache does not go away, Jesus does not respond with impatience or disappointment. He responds with an invitation. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Jesus does not remove the call. He offers himself. Rest is not found in resolving every tension, but in staying close to the one who knows exactly how heavy this life can feel. He does not stand at a distance and demand perfection. He draws near and forms us as we walk with him. And this is why these questions matter so much, not because they disqualify us, but because they reveal exactly where kingdom living must do its work. When we ask how to forgive what feels unforgivable, how to love real enemies, how to trust when God feels silent, how to take the next step when we cannot see where our foot will land, we are not pushing back against Jesus. We are standing at the very places his kingdom is meant to form us. Over the next few weeks, we are going to return to these words of Jesus and stay with them. We will listen to him not as a distant teacher, but as our King. Together, we will learn how the kingdom of heaven carries within it the power to live the life he calls us to. Not through shortcuts, not through pretending the pain is not real, but through allegiance, formation, and trust lived out over time. This journey will not erase the cost of Jesus' words, but it will show us why they were never meant to crush us. The answers to our deepest fears are not outside the kingdom. They are built into it. We are not asked to bring the ability. We are asked to bring our hearts. And under the reign of King Jesus, that is enough to begin becoming something more. As you sit with these words today, take a moment to reflect on where you feel the weight of Jesus' call most deeply. Where do you sense both longing and hesitation? If you're willing, share your reflections or questions in the comments so we can learn and walk this journey together.